It was the 1990s, and it was awash with sitcoms galore, from iconic primetime family shows to Saturday morning teen sitcoms. It was an era of great entertaining television. The shows ranged from Emmy Award winning to cheesy guilty pleasures. I could go on forever about the awesome shows shown during this time period, but here today I will focus on one of my go-to shows from this era, California Dreams. From the makers of Saved by the Bell came this quirky little sitcom about a group of teens who regularly performed as a band whilst navigating their way through high school. It starts out as a family sitcom with the Garrison siblings Matt and Jenny, their baby brother Dennis, and their folks, Richard and Melody, living under the same roof and doing what typical normal American families do. I'm not American, so I'm just going by what I see here on TV. But then you throw in Matt and Jenny's friends, Sly, Tony, and Tiffany, and you have the show's main stars and it becomes more of a teen sitcom. The first season of the show centers on the Garrisons, but over the course of the season it morphs gradually into focusing more on the teens. Matt is the lead singer and the guitarist of the group, so he's like the face of the band and he's pushing for it to become a big success. Being the cool one is not necessarily his style, especially when it comes to chatting up the ladies.
Hi, you're Matt Garrison, right?
Yes,
Okay, I'm Randy Jo Manning. I hear you have a band. I listen to you guys play sometime.
yeah, we practice every day.
Great, can I come by today?
Sure, at 2 o'clock at 128 Ocean Drive.
Oof, that was rough. Enter Jenny, Matt's sister, who is the outspoken, assertive, strong female presence in the group, and from her dress sense, you can see her as almost rebellious. Now, unfortunately for her, she is also the desire of Sly's affections. Speaking of Sly, he is the manager for the group, and Matt's childhood BFF. He quickly establishes himself as a young grafter and tries multiple harebrained get-rich-quick schemes, which more often than not sees him fall flat on his face. And on top of that, his many attempts at winning over the ladies, especially Jenny. There was that one time when he somehow managed to hook up with Tiffany. Man, I wish I had his style back when I was in high school. Would have had better luck with the girls. Tiffany is the kind, caring, good girl conscience of the group, always wanting to be nice and understanding of people and their flaws. Sometimes it comes off as a little too nice. And finally there is Tony, the comedian of the group with his goofy sense of humour and that typical over-the-top personality. He serves as the drummer for the group and often forms a hilarious duo with Sly, and their funny attempts at wooing the girls and playing pranks.
Afternoon, Jasmine. You are as fine as wine, and if I had a glass, I would drink a toast to your beauty.
Well, you better take your smooth-talking, wine-drinking, desperate for a date behind and get out of my face.
Ouch! Now watch your professional.
Sly, don't bother. I only date humans.
Enter the second season, and this is where things begin to change. The show is now focused on just the band now. The parents have been reduced to just guest appearances, and young Dennis has been, well, Thanos out of existence. And finally, Jenny. She leaves the show after the first 3 episodes of season 2 to move to Italy. Then the season saw the introduction of 2 new characters, the first being Jake Summers, a lad who comes with a reputation of being a handful and gives off that bad boy Fuzzy from Happy Days vibe. You can thank the jacket for that. After a misunderstanding with Matt, he shows that he's not the person he's initially been depicted as, and he's invited to join the group. After initial resistance, he is finally accepted and he becomes the official 5th member of the group. As he was a ladies' man, he does have his way with the girls in the group, first with Jenny, then Tiffany. The second new character is Samantha Wu, a foreign exchange student who comes to the US and lives with the Garrisons, and it's clear from her first appearance that she was quite the character.
Hi.
Hey!
Hey, what are you guys doing in the garage? You've got a band?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I've always dreamt of being in the band. At home, I used to watch MTV and sing along like I was a rock star. I can sing. believe I'm finally in America. I thought this day would never come. I mean, there's so many great things about this country. Keanu Reeves, Christian Slater, Michael Jackson. Are we near Disneyland? Is this my room? It's awesome.
How do you keep up with somebody who speaks that fast? From then on to the end of season 2, this was the core group of characters, and it was the usual round of shenanigans from the group whilst maintaining their band status. Then we move on to season 3, when yet another round of changes happen. The character I felt was the heart and soul of the show, Matt, has left, and this leaves quite the void in the band, and the first episode is spent finding a replacement. This comes in the form of Mark Winkle, Sly's cousin. As it turns out, Mark doesn't like Sly, as apparently he teased him badly as a child.
Oh, great, Sly.
We want you to join. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, pretty cool, except for one thing. I want nothing to do with you, Sly. I hate your guts.
As is always the case, this issue is resolved by the end of the episode, and Mark is officially welcomed into the band. And finally, we have Lorena Costa, the new rich girl in town. She's now taken Simon as her housemate, as the Garrisons are now gone, and she can almost be depicted as Sam's bestie. She's a little on the snooty side at first, the typical sport rich girl living in California. This season aired in 1994, so you know there were influences for her character. After an initial back and forth with Jake, she ends up dating him. This lasts until the start of season 4.
Look, you're in over your head. Listen to me.
Ha! It'll be a smog to stay in LA before I listen to you.
Ha! You already did. It was my idea to take over the station.
Ha! And look what trouble you got me in.
Ha! Huh? You drive me crazy.
You drive me crazier.
You make me sick.
You make me nauseous.
You infuriate me.
I like you.
I like you more.
After countless attempts of wooing her, Lorena does end up with Sly. Lorena and Mark would end up being the final changes to the cast, and this group of 7 would remain until the end of the series. There is plenty to unwrap from this series for me. I'm not quite sure where to begin. I could start off with the fact that this show, as I said at the top of the episode, was made by the creators of Saved by the Bell. As Kelly Packard Tiffany herself said,
I always described the show as Saved by the Bell with a band. That was exactly, it was just what it was. It was with a band. Did we really sing? Yes. Did we really play the instruments? No.
We faked the instruments, some of
We
us.
could play, but it was not us
Not
playing.
like that.
the similarities are there. A group of teenagers who go to the same high school, the usual 90s stereotypes, the jocks, the ditzy teen girls, the over-the-top surfer characters.
What? Some government dude pulled us out.
Government dude Bob. He told us the municipal shore is closed due to a large amount of post-consumer waste and a high bacteria count. Like bacteria can count.
And the life lessons learnt on the show, which at times tended to be a little force-fed. Over the course of its run, the show dealt with a range of issues, in some extreme cases, drug addictions and gang violence.
What? Well, don't you think you're overreacting a little bit?
No, we don't. See, you have a problem with drugs, Tiffany. You need some help.
Right. I am this close to my dream, and you expect me to throw it away because I took a couple of stupid pills? Well, forget it. I don't need help. I need new friends. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? What am I doing?
You'll be okay, Tiff. You'll be okay. Be okay.
Hey, easy, man.
You messed up my friend and now it's playback time.
No, Dan.
Shut up, Tony.
Oh, fine. Yeah, I'll shut up. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Shoot this fool. Put a bullet in his heart. Don't keep this going, man. This is not going to help JR.
Oh, man, this is gonna even things.
Put the gun down, man.
Yeah, listen to your friend, G.
Shut up. We can't just let them get away with this.
Forget them. I'm talking about you. About your life. If you kill them, man, you're going down too.
As with any topic covered on my channel, I love to mention the likes and the dislikes. Starting with the negatives, corny dialogue, which made the acting feel really cheesy.
Oh, I'll catch up to you. Lorena,
I got great news.
You got a job as a speed bump?
No, actually, we replaced Matt in the band so we can play your friend's party. Oh, do you think she could pay us in a dance?
Oh, no problem. She's got a bank machine in her bedroom.
The constant cast changes, which in all fairness was only the first 2 seasons of the show, seasons 3 to 5 kept the same lineup onwards. But still, they could have written out Matt better, like give him a good story arc where he eventually leaves the show like Jenny did, rather than him just disappearing. Oh well. When you watch the show back, you can really feel how 1990s it is. Some shows age better, but in some instances, this show really highlighted what this particular era was like. Another pet peeve was how self-contained the episodes were. It was way too goody two-shoes. I mean, any fallouts within the group would last for just that single episode. Until another episode, and it was just rinse and repeat. I also did mention the corny acting, by the way.
Well, I'm keeping my date.
Fine, well, I'm keeping mine too, and we'll just let Ted decide who's more fun.
Fine.
Fine!
Now, my gripes aside, the show did provide me with plenty of laughs. It was, after all, entertainment, and there were a few times the show had me in stitches. And as cheesy as they came across, there were some very valuable life lessons learnt from the show. I did enjoy the rapport from Jake and Sly. It was a frenemy type of relationship, not to mention the fact that they both dated Lorena and Tiffany, and Sly nearly had Jenny. I mean, what was this? How many girls can you kiss in the group? My favourite character from the show was Tony. Yes, he was the token black guy, but he more than stood out in the show. And along with Sly and Tiffany, he was there for the entire series run. Goofy, wacky, and great one-liners.
I'm prepared. I'm completely and utterly in a state of total preparedness.
Take out your number 2 pencils.
I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. Thank you.
He was like a bootleg mix of Will Smith and Carlton. Yes, I know what I just said. The show did receive its share of criticism, as seen right here. Entertainment Weekly and Los Angeles Times did not hold back on what they thought of the show. That's way too harsh, man. Too harsh. Was the show held in the same regard as its predecessor Saved by the Bell, or classics like Friends, Golden Girls, or The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Hell no. Hell no. But it still had its legions of fans across the world. Not to mention the show lasted for 5 seasons in total, so unquestionably it was successful. There have also been DVD releases, as well as cast reunions reminiscing on the time spent on the show. Little known fact, there was a crossover with Saved by the Bell. Sort of. Mark Paul Gosselaar, who played Zack, hosted a show called Brains and Bronze, and it featured the cast of California Dreams. This was as close as we got to a crossover. I look at California Dreams as a guilty pleasure. Despite its flaws, I still find it very entertaining to watch. In my opinion, I think it carves its own identity for itself, so it's not necessarily a Saved by the Bell clone, unlike other Peter Engel shows that followed, like USA High, The New Class, and Hang Time. I did like the first 3 seasons of Hang Time, and by the way, it was Anthony Anderson's breakthrough into the world of acting. I've used the phrase, this show or that show hit that time in my life, but this show really did come about during my awkward teen years, and it was one of the things I used for escapism from bad periods in my life. It was a good comfort show, and I still view it that way after all these years. The fashion may be out of date, the dialogue cringe, but nonetheless I look back with nothing but fond memories of the show, whether it was watching with my siblings, or my school friends, or watching it during the high school summertime period. California Dreams was great fun.